And we're back in the mechanical room. So we're working on a VRV system here. Just came out here to adjust the thermostat. And I came out here and I noticed some issues going on here. We got an E2, so let's see what that's all about. So here we go. All right, so this is an FXMQ fresh air dedicated air unit. So this is our cooling stuff. This is how it cools the outdoor air if it's too hot. And we can see here it's blinking. We hit menu, we got an E2 as well. All right, so we got our unit here. We got an E2. That means it's a grounded compressor. So let's go take a look at the actual unit itself. So we're at the outdoor unit here. We're getting an E2-01, which is main. This is just doing that fresh air unit. This is doing like the main area, and then that one's doing all the other fan coils. So yeah, so at E2, I believe that's a grounded compressor. So we're gonna go ahead and check the compressor to ground, see if it's actually grounded. That's our compressor there. It's gonna be fun to change, all kinds of stuff in the way. So anyway, let's go ahead and kill the power here. And when you're killing the power on these guys, you wanna give them a good like minute just to discharge all the capacitors before you start messing with the wiring. All right, so we're checking the first one to ground, and we got 1 ohm. Yep, pressure's grounded. Oh, that's just lovely. This thing's like from 2021. All right, so we're back. We got our Daikin VRV here. We're gonna change the compressor on this bad boy. So first things first is we need to recover. So we're gonna get all our recovery stuff set up, and then we'll go from there. We got everything pretty much hooked up. So what we need to do is we need to leave the power on because we got to put it in recovery mode. So basically there's like 20 billion solenoids and valves and stuff. We want all those to be open. So Daikin has put a recovery mode, which will basically open everything up. That way we can pull a good recovery. So first things first, we got to find this. Now this is our error code. Usually this will be blank, but if you have an error code, you can do this. So you're going to hold down the mode button right here, which is also I think BS1. All right, so you see here we're in mode 2, so this is where we can do stuff. We're gonna hit the set button 21 times until we see 21 blinking. Okay, we're gonna hit return 1 time. Okay, so 0 means it's off, so we wanna turn it on, so we're gonna hit set. So now it's on, so we're gonna hit return. Okay, now that means recovery mode's on. We're gonna hit return 1 more time. I don't know if you heard that click, but everything just opened up. So we are currently now in recovery mode, all right? So now we can go ahead and start our recovery. All right, so we're doing our recovery. So while that's doing that, I'm gonna pull everything else up onto the roof, and then we'll go from there. The things you gotta do to get a good recovery going. So annoying. One thing I don't like about the Appion G5 Twin is the pressure can get really high because it's so powerful that it'll actually cut off on high pressure. And we're still at 108 PSI, so yeah. So we're taking about 39 pounds. So I'm gonna put most of it in there. I might pull out another tank just to get the last of it if I keep having issues with this. Our recovery is pretty much done. Cool. Yeah, we want it to be positive so we're not sucking anything in, so go ahead and turn this water off. All right, so I weighed the tank when it was empty, so it was 29.13. So now we're at 66.39. So 66.3-ish. Yeah, so we'll just do that. And then, what did I say, 29.13 minus 29.13. So we got about 37 pounds. So calculation was about 38 point something. So I would say we got all of it. So we don't have a leak. So we know that it had a full charge. I'm going to put fresh refrigerant because apparently this compressor has been changed out before. So this is going to be compressor, actually compressor number 3, because there's the original, this one, and then the one I'm doing today. From what I understand, the previous company reused the same refrigerant, so possibly maybe it was contaminated. I'm gonna hook up the service checker after, once we get everything operating, and we're gonna just make sure everything's working fine. But yeah, so now I'm gonna go ahead and get prepped to pull this compressor out, get the new compressor in there, and then we'll also have to change out the inverter board, because anytime you're changing out one of these inverter compressors, you gotta change the board along with it. So yeah, so we know that we have a good charge, so that means there's probably no leak in the system. So that's a good thing. And then we're gonna do a pressure test. We're gonna leave it overnight, and then we'll pull the triple vac and go from there. So yeah, so we're getting set up to unsweat this compressor. Yeah, so we're gonna be flowing nitrogen through there because we don't want to get any soot in there. So it's very important that you put it on the suction line, which I'm gonna show you here. So we're gonna put some pressure in there. All right, see, it's coming out of here, right? So that's what we want. So I'm just gonna show you what happens if you try to put nitrogen through on this side. So you can see here, we're opening up our nitrogen and it's pressurizing. There's nothing coming out here. So if you're trying to flow nitrogen while you're brazing, you got to put it on the suction. Otherwise, it's just going to be trapped in the high side. Because I believe there's some check valves or something up in there. Yeah, see, so if we pop this off, all that pressure we just put in there just comes right out. So we want to go ahead and put it on our suction line port here. You can see we have pressure coming out of here. So now we're going to go ahead and put it on braze. So it's always good that you purge it with nitrogen first. That way you blow out any air that's in there. Because if you just put it straight to your braze setting, you're still going to have oxygen in there, and you could still potentially get some oxidation in the line. So usually what I'll do is I'll just kind of blow out some nitrogen for a little bit, and then I'll switch it over to braze, and that'll basically blow all the air out of the lines. So we just want to go ahead and feel it until it's very, very little. Like there's still a little bit of pressure. So, but yeah, that's how we go with it. Now there's 3 lines on this compressor. We have this one here, we have this one here, and then there's one in the back. This one there. So that one in the back is going to be a pain in the butt. So yeah. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started on this. So before you do this, you want to probably wrap up this pressure switch here. This is a discharge sensor, and then there's also a compressor body sensor right here. So you want to take those off and get those out of the way. And then we have the 2 crankcase heaters, which we removed, and of course the wiring. So I'm probably going to start with this one and then this one. And then I'm going to see if I can maybe move it a little bit, just so I can get to that back one, because there's not a lot of room to get to it, and there's no panel you can pull off. You could pull off this side panel, but I mean, it's blocked by all this stuff. So yeah, access is kind of a pain. And honestly, the compressor is not going to be that bad. What's going to be fun is changing the inverter board, which is this board back here. So we're gonna have to pop this off. Now supposedly you can bend this thing like a ton of times before it's going to break. Just be careful. And then we got to get this panel off, and then we should have access to that. We'll swap that out. Alrighty then, we got her out. So there she is. Alright, so again, I still have nitrogen flowing through. We got the new compressor in place. All the pipes are dry fitted. So I'm gonna go ahead and braze it. I'll start with the one in the back and then work my way to the front. Alright, so we got her all brazed in. We're pressurizing it up with nitrogen now. So, but this process is gonna take forever because I have these little tiny tanks. Usually I get a big, huge one, but it's gonna be a pain in the butt to get it up here. So that's why I'm just gonna use a bunch of these little ones. I got another one there, and I got a couple more in the truck. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do, because we're only at 50 PSI. So yeah. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and change the inverter boards. That's this board back here. So we got to get this off. So screw here, screw here, screw here, there, And then I believe we take this panel off to get to the board. So let's do that. So it's very important when you're doing this, use a screwdriver, don't use your drill, otherwise you'll strip it. Look at that. Yeah, so that's gonna be fun taking that off. So yeah, you can see there we got this off. This whole plate like clips on, but this is our new board, so it's all installed. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut my little things here to do that, and hopefully I plugged everything in and plugged it in properly. So yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and close this up, and then we're gonna have to continue this tomorrow because I'm all out of time for today. So we're gonna leave it under nitrogen pressure. It's currently under pressure overnight. So we will take a temperature reading of our ambient temperature, get our pressures, and then we'll do the Daikin math, and that will tell us if we held pressure overnight or not. Because the nitrogen pressure will drop a little bit if it's cooler than when we started, and it will go up a little bit if it's warmer than when we're started. All right, so she's all back together. One thing about this guy here is you're supposed to put thermal paste on there. Of course, the new one didn't come with any, so make sure you pick some up. I keep some on my truck, so I put some on there. You don't need a lot. You just put like a good little line there and just kind of, you know, like the sound effect. But yeah, so, and then just don't forget to make sure you plug all the wires back in, because I put this all back together and then I found a wire I missed. So, so just double check that you got everything. But yeah, we're under pressure. We're gonna take our ambient temperature, we'll check our pressure, and then we'll do the Daikin math and make sure she holds. And then we'll start our vacuum tomorrow, do a triple vac, and then yeah, we'll go from there. All right, so we're back. It's the next day, still under pressure, so we need to do a calculation. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and use our starting temperature, which was 74 degrees. It's actually 73 point something. Our current temperature is 58 degrees, so we subtract the current temperature, so that gives us 16. Multiply that by 0.8, and that gives us 12.8. So that means we should have a 12.8 drop. So I think we were at 473, so that means it's going to be about 12.8 lower, so probably about 450-ish, something. So let's go ahead and see. So we're going to go ahead and connect to my probes here. So I found out yesterday that my suction probe is leaking, and a good way to test it is basically I had it under pressure and I closed these, and the suction pressure started dropping. Even though this was close, that means it's leaking somewhere. But my high side was good, so that's what I'm going to look at. So this is the first time I'm looking at it. Oh yeah, so right on. Now, if you have the Daikin Tech app, there's a built-in calculator where you can just input the numbers and it'll do the math for you. You do need a Daikin City account to access it. I think there's a guest option too, but I'm not sure if it locks out certain things. But yeah, so basically you would go into here and then you just go to tools, and right here, nitrogen pressure, switch it to Fahrenheit, and then you would just enter your stuff here and it'll actually give you the exact amount. So let's see, we were at 74, so we'll go ahead and try it, the app here. Whoop, too far. Ooh, 74. Our starting pressure was, let me look it up here. I'm gonna look up my starting pressure. Okay, so we were at 472 PSI. Started at 74 degrees, ending at 58 degrees, so we should be at 457.41. Now it's never gonna be perfect, it should be really close. And we're pretty much there, right? 457.41, we're at 456.1. So yeah, I would say that's good. So, and that's pretty much overnight. So I know it's supposed to be 24 hours, but yeah. So I'm gonna call it good. So we're gonna go ahead and let the pressure out of the system, and then we're gonna go ahead and start our vacuum. So today we're gonna actually be doing a triple vac, because that's what Daikin requires. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. So yeah, here we go. All right, so we got the vacuum pump hooked up. It's already at 3,000 microns. So we're gonna be doing a crazy evacuation process today. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull it down to 4,000. We're gonna let it hold for 15 minutes. We're gonna break it with nitrogen to about 1 to 2 PSI. We'll evacuate down to another 1,500, let it hold for 20 minutes. then we'll brake again, and then we'll pull it down to 500, and then we should let it hold for an hour. And then, yeah, so that's pretty much how we're gonna do this. It's gonna take forever, but yeah. So far we're doing pretty good though. We're already at 1300 microns. All right, cool. Well, let's go ahead and let her hold. Not bad. So yeah, this vacuum pump is awesome. I can't believe it already pulled it down to that. We're already at 900. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and break this with nitrogen after 10 minutes. All right, so we're at our first stop. So you stop at 8,000 microns and then valve off, let it hold for 15 minutes. It's been a little over 15 minutes. It actually, I kind of overshot it, so I stopped at 1500 and then it just dropped down to this. So it's been holding, it actually went down to 613 and then it just kind of settled at about 460 or 660. So I would say it's good. So we're gonna go ahead and brake with nitrogen. We got our nitrogen hooked up here. So we want to get like about 1 PSI in there. So I'm gonna open this valve here to brake it. Okay, cool. So we're at 2 PSI. So we're gonna go ahead and hook up the vacuum pump again. All right, evacuation number 2. We're gonna go down to 4,000. I'm gonna try to not overshoot this time. Now, this system is like super easy. There's no branch box. It's literally just that one indoor unit and 25 feet of line set. So, well, probably more than that, but I'm guessing about 25, 30 feet maybe. So yeah, so we'll go ahead and pull this down to 4,000 and we'll brake with nitrogen and then we'll continue. We'll go a little bit under 4,000. Valve her off. And turn off the pump. Now you can see it's still dropping down. That's normal. If it was going up, we'd have a problem. So now we're gonna go ahead and start our timer for 20 minutes. So we shall see. We'll be back in 20 minutes and then we'll brake with nitro. But you can see it's still going down. So that's a good sign. Alrighty, so it's been a little over 20 minutes. I was taking stuff down off the roof and I brought the refrigerant tanks up, but we're back at 624 and it's been holding there. So we stopped at 3,000 microns and this is where it dropped down to. So we're gonna brake with nitrogen and continue. All right, so we are at 2.5 PSI of nitro. So we're gonna go ahead and continue our vacuum. While I was waiting for this, I took down all the stuff that I don't need and I cleaned all the coils up here. But anyway, we're at 490. So we're gonna go ahead and close her off, let it chill for an hour. If it falls below 500, then we will let it chill for an hour, which I think it's going to. She's at 418, been holding for about an hour and 5 minutes. So we're gonna go ahead and start charging her up. We got our refrigerant all hooked up, ready to roll. Gotta charge 38 pounds. So we're gonna charge as much as we can without running the unit. Once it gets to the point where it's not working anymore, we'll put the unit in additional charge mode. So anyway, we're still under vacuum. We've purged all the air out. And just to show you, there we go. All the air is out of it. And we're gonna go ahead and charge into our liquid line first, and then we'll throttle into the suction. We got 23.7 in there. So that's pretty much the whole tank. I'm not gonna get any more of it. So we got the second one ready to roll. We're gonna also purge this one too. All right, purge the air. So we got about 15 pounds to go. So here we go. All right, well, we got our 15 pounds. I need a little bit more. It needs to be 15.1. There we go. All right, cool. So we got all our refrigerant in there. I didn't even have to go into additional charge mode, which is pretty awesome. So she's in there. So we're gonna go ahead and put the Schrader cords back in, take all that off, get this panel back on there, power her up, and hopefully we hooked everything up properly in there and it should kick on. One thing too I was thinking about, being that we've had to change being that this compressor's been changed twice already. If you notice, the condenser fan motors or the outdoor fan motors are ducted. Well, there's actually a high static mode that needs to be set. So whenever you duct these things, you're supposed to set it in a high static mode for the fans, so they'll run a little bit harder to, you know, overcome the ducting. So I don't know if that's been set or not. So we're gonna check that and make sure. If it isn't, maybe that's what caused the compressors to fail. If it is, well, we checked. And if it isn't, I'm gonna check that one over there too, because if this one's not done, then maybe that other one isn't. So yeah, anyway, we're gonna get all cleaned up. Okay, here we go. All right, so we powered her up. You can see this, we got the 3 zeros. I believe it's like in discovery mode. It's just trying to find everything, make sure it's working, doing a self-test. I can hear some stuff clicking. But yeah, we're gonna let it chill for a minute, and while it's doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and put my stuff away. Alrighty, so she's done doing whatever. So you can see there's no error code anymore. I'm gonna just make sure it's not in recovery mode. All right, so we wanna check to see if the high static mode is on. So we're gonna hold down the mode button. So I get into mode 2. And then we want 18. And we're looking for a 1. Okay, so now we go return 1, so that means it's turned on. If it was a 0, that means it's off, so we're good. So let's get out of that. We hit mode to get out, so our setting is good. All right, so I'm over here. I got my service checker hooked up. I'm just waiting for it to work. This is the very first time we're actually using this. We got a brand new laptop, brand new service checker, the most latest software on there, but it doesn't work. So I was able to record over the weekend, but I can't get any actual like live data. So if I go into display mode and I try to do this, I get this error code. Tried installing it, removing it, everything. I was originally using a, what do you call it, a shielded wire, so I took all the shielding off. Just, I don't know, but anyway, if you guys have ever come across this issue, let me know in the comments how to get by it. But yeah, I've tried everything and I can't get it to work. I'm running it in administrator mode for Windows, and yeah, so I don't know. I'm just like really upset because it's just like, I went through the training to learn how to use this. We bought the software, we bought the hardware, everything, bought a brand new laptop for this, and nothing. So, and you may see that mine looks a little different. There's a thing you can get, if you look on the back of this, I have an SD card. So this whole back plate's a sticker. You can peel that off. And if you go into the software, you go to help and you go to version, you do that a bunch of times, it'll ask for a code. If you call tech support, they'll give you the password, it'll unlock all these extra features, which none of those work either. So maybe this is just defective, I'm not sure. So anyway, if you have any thoughts, let me know. But anyway, hopefully the rest of this video helped you out. So thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, comment, tell me what a horrible technician I am. Hit that bell notification and follow me on Instagram and Facebook. And if you like the tools that I use, pick them up on my Amazon store. Thanks for watching.